Hi everyone, this is not the kind of video anyone should be uploading. This video shouldn't even be happening at all. Two things I've been given today. One of these, £1 million courtesy of Charlie Boy. Could that say Celtic and Rangers there? I don't think so. I was given this by some bloke, and he said something about it. It's all tied in with the Ten Commandments. That, as far as I'm concerned, it's all part of the same thing. I'm really not interested, but maybe it's a sign that some money's coming my way, because I might need it to fight a court battle. Why I'm uploading this video tonight, I'll try and keep it brief. If any of you have watched my previous videos about me being in the park during lockdown back in the end of 2020 or whenever it was, I have been summoned to court, and I have replied with the details about the regulations with regards to my human rights. This is what the response is. Thank you for your letter of the 13th of April 2023 relating to the above prosecution, the contents of which have been considered. The decision to prosecute any person is only taken where there is sufficient evidence to afford a reasonable prospect of conviction and the prosecution is in the public interest. I'm not going to lose my temper at this point. I'm not even going to tell you what's going on in my head, but I'll just continue to read this. Please be assured that in making the decision to prosecute you, your rights under Article 8, Rights, Private and Family Life, Article 10, Freedom of Expression, and Article 11, Freedom of Assembly and Association of the European Convention on Human Rights were given full consideration. You fucking liars. What must be emphasised, however, is that none of the rights contained in those articles is absolute. The Convention permits interference with those rights where it is in accordance with the law for a legitimate purpose and is proportionate. This is the kind, I'm just going to jump in here back in between this letter. This is the kind of stuff that my father would have gone on about. But what my grandfather did, and his father, who was in the London Army, from what I've done research-wise, they went to war to fight for our freedom. Now, we have our government here that prosecuted its own people for fighting for people's freedom. That is why I was in the park. Now, I've recently become a grandparent, right? And this makes it even more important to me, what I did and why I'm doing it. It's for our children's future. And these people don't see that. I'm going to carry on reading it. It's considered that the present prosecution does engage rights, spelling mistake, under the ECHR. However, it is further considered that the interference with those rights is in accordance with the law, namely the health protection, coronavirus restrictions number 2, regulations, Northern Ireland 2020, so far a legitimate purpose, namely being in the interest of public safety. And here we go again. I'm not going to lose my temper, but I'm going to probably put a door through, even though I've just had them replaced. For various other reasons, nothing to do with me, for the protection of public order and public health, in that the purpose of the 2020 regulations was to mitigate the spread of a highly infectious virus in the community. There is no proof, and was never any proof, that there was a highly infectious virus, right? And it's proportionate in that, on the date in question, the relevant regulations did not create an outright prohibition on people gathering together, but rather a restriction on gatherings to 15 people or less. And those people who breach that restriction without reasonable excuse should be prosecuted in order for the justice system to determine the appropriate penalty commensurate with the breach, giving due consideration to the sentencing principles of retribution and deterrence. I'm going to say this bit. You sent me photographic evidence, apparently, of me in the park. You only sent a photograph of me on my own. There was no proof in those photographs that I was with 15 other people. And if there were 15 other people in the park, or even more than that, that's nothing to do with me. I'm not responsible for them. I could have been in the park and didn't even know what was going on. So, you've got no proof of this. And not only that, the BBC turned up. I bet you're not prosecuting Emma Vardy, are you? Because she was there, and that film footage will be online somewhere, or someone will have it, and that will be brought to light. Because if I'm going down, she's going down with me. The file has been reviewed in light of the representations made in your letter, and it is considered the test to for prosecution is still met. The prosecution will therefore continue. It is noted the summons requires you to appear at Belfast Magistrates Court on the 31st of May 2023. Right, I've dropped some paperwork into solicitors. They haven't returned it back to me yet because they said they couldn't deal with it. This will get dealt with, and I can assure them this will get dealt with in whatever shape, form that comes in. But to think that you're going to take away my freedom or anybody else's freedom, you're absolutely wrong, mate. You're on a hide into nothing. Good night.